What's up, studs? Kunal here, Bulls on Wall Street. Happy election day. We had a monster run in the markets. As we have the last few elections, I believe the market was also up 2% when Biden won, and then it was up huge when Trump won too, because it kind of releases some of the uncertainty. So the market went on a monster run. We were up 2.62% today. So let's dig into the stock market indexes and then our day trading watch list that we are going to play tomorrow. This market is in full-blown breakout mode, and we've got to respect it. No matter what you think about the politics, about the election, whatever, right? We're just traders. We're just here to make an honest dollar or a dishonest dollar for some, and we trade the price action. All we can see here is this is a breakout, right? We have a breakout in the QQQs. We have a breakout in the SPY, right? We have a breakout even in the dreaded IWM. And this is, I mean, just huge. All right, guys? The IWM has been stuck in a range forever. All this time, it's just been stuck. And we haven't been able to come out of this consolidation zone, especially this year. And we've tried quite a few times. We've tested this 225 on the IWM a few times and just been grossly rejected over and over and over. And not only did we break out with some monster volume, but dude, a 5.58% move? Like, what is this? COVID times? Right? Like, that is, you can't write a better script, right? And the interesting part of the IWM breaking out is the interest rates were getting smacked. You could see here TLT, you know, your bond fund, the bonds were just getting smoked, right? And if you see the 10-year note, geez, like, you know, let's see, you can use, right? If you look here, like this is the 10-year note, like all these things are getting just smoked over and over, and yet the IWM goes. IWM is supposed to be super interest rate sensitive, and, you know, here we are, you know, busting loose. At this point, what we got to expect is that this 242 is in the cards. It would be rare if all of these things break out and this doesn't at least try to make an attempt at a breakout. Now, for tomorrow, it may dip down, right? It may dip down. I don't know. You know, 6% is a lot of move. Maybe it fills some of the gap. It's been known to do that after big moves. You know, we've seen that before where it makes these big moves and then it kind of just fizzles out. I'm not saying that that's going to happen right now, but those are the possibilities that we just want to be aware of, all right? But at this moment, this isn't all systems is go, and we just respect it, and we got to trade what we see till the price action tells us something different. Let's take a look at the watch list. Now, guys, it is very natural in this market, like when you get a hot day like this, every stock is going to look hot. Every stock is going to look like it's a buy. Your watch list will be 100 names long. And you need to start to tier them. Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3. Tier 1 is like stocks that are ready to go right now. Like something you can play tomorrow. It's right at the inflection point. It's about to break out or it's about to bounce off its, you know, moving average or whatever it might be, but it's ready right now. Your Tier 2 stocks is like this is a really hot stock, but it needs maybe time to set up, right? So like, for example, like a PLTR or something, right? Really, really hot stock, you know, obviously up 10%, 10% the day before, and so on and so forth. But it may need a day or two of rest. So it's like, you know, I would consider that something on my watch list, but it's a tier 2 because the move has already been made, right? It was $40 a couple days ago. Now, can it keep going up? Of course, right? But ideally, a couple days of pullback would really set that up. So tier 1, tier 2, and then tier 3 is like your kind of daily traders. Hey, I've got Tesla, NVIDIA, you know, Amazon, like these kind of names that, you know, you kind of trade back and forth over the course of the years. You know, I have a few of these, like a Firm, UPST, you know, so on and so forth. So let's get a look and see what's going on. So first of all, This coin blew me away today. Yeah, I was even telling some of the guys in my chat room, I'm like, hey, this could get a little messy today because it was a little bit extended going into the breakout. I just really underestimated how much heat it could have. I had huge volume today, and it gapped up and it pulled back, and then it was just a nonstop 9 EMA D rider into the close. And so you got to respect that. It's pulling back about $8 after hours. If you get a weak open on this, I think this is prime time probably for a red to green. Lyft had its earnings out here. The big breakout on Lyft is, at 21, but I think that's a magnet for now. Let's see if this pulls back. Let's see if this thing pulls back at the open and we can long this thing. Lyft stock pops on upbeat Q4 outlook, blah, blah, blah. Not many of these stocks have only $5 billion market cap now too, right? So you're in almost a small cap territory with this thing, right? Small cap to right, a little bit of a mid cap. Man, that's a great look to it. And I think this thing's going to probably hit, 50, 100 million shares in volume tomorrow. CLSK, this is, right, a crypto name that has to play a little bit of catch up. You got similar, it looks kind of similar to coin where you're like kind of testing into this, level, and it looks like a turd, and maybe tomorrow it unturds. And you can look at the beautiful action on this bad boy, right? Gap up, pull back into the bone zone, and then you're just kind of 9 EMA D riding the whole way. I mean, that's a really good look. I want to add Wolf too, because if you see here, you got a big time breakout setting up on the 7 spot. You got a nice pop on this one. If you get a weak open on this one, I think this one too, we can red to green it. Awesome look. Lumens, we've been putting this on the watch list for a little bit. This was, I had so many alerts go off on this, and dude, I was knee deep in all these other names, and so I couldn't get into it because I just said, I was out of buying power. There was so much heat, right? Today was a full blown, I got my whole account and all the names type of day. And man, I missed this. It was a beautiful run. I think we want to keep trading this one. Any tap back, especially to the 8 spot, I think we can do. SMR, look, I think these nuclear names, they're holding up. You can see SMR pulled right back into the bone zone. Nice pop today. The Trumpster's been talking a lot about energy, right? He's been saying oil, but I think there's also a time and place probably for a time and place also for a little bit of this nukes, right? So let's get this thing on the watch list. I think we want to be a part of this bad boy. It's got a breakout look right to it. Let's add this thing and see what it can do for tomorrow. SQ just started its move today. It looks like its earnings are tomorrow. So, I'll be watching this one to see what kind of action is coming out because there's a huge level that comes in here, right? So, I want to see if this thing can break out this level at some point. I've been staring at this thing for damn 2 years, and it's time. It's time for SQ, old Squarespace, to show its true colors and unturd itself. This thing used to be $300. Like, let's get this thing going again. We need some new stocks, right? It's like, we've been just trading damn Tesla and Nvidia for years. We got to get some new, fresh blood, right? Of course, and we've had ARM and kind of some PLTR and some of these new things, but it'd be nice to just get a whole boat of some freshies. UPST, this earnings is out tomorrow too. Keep an eye if it starts to bust through 58. I don't know if they're in the morning or in the afternoon, but key level over here. And then also, right, a really, really, really big setup on, if you look at a weekly chart or something like that, really, really big setup. So I've got a nice look to it, right? So let's take a look at that kind of action too, and we can roll with it. And then we got Lunar here. Man, I keep messing up Lunar and Lumen, right? I got alerts set on both of them. I keep messing these two up. Both of these look pretty, I think they look pretty damn good, So let's add this thing, see what we can do on it. But man, I think this thing has got a lot of potential. If you see RKLB took off today too, right, up 10%. So, why not old Lunar along with Lumens, right? Let's get them all going. And then MU, Dude, 113 is a breakout spot on this. It could take off tomorrow. Ideally, and we don't always get an ideally, but ideally you get a small inside day here to rest and kind of let this EMA catch up, and then you take out this range. That's going to give you a lot better push. Man, that's a hot setup, though. PCT, this to me looks like a little bit of a swing trade. So you have this multi-year breakout, right? And you push through it in like one day. It went from $11 to 15. And then you had this nice, orderly, low volume pullback right back into the bone zone. And that's just, it's nothing special. It's just a shaded area between your 9 and 20 EMA. It just sounds cooler to say bone, right? So it pulls back into the bone zone. And my thinking is usually when they remount back over the 9 and close over the 9 EMA, that they're ready to party. I think this is actually could be a swing trade, and you could get this thing back into the 16s relatively quickly. Netflix finally broke its earnings flag. So this move here was on earnings, right? You can see big volume, big move on earnings. And then you got this nice consolidation. It just building out a high, tight flag here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 days. That's like your perfect amount of time for a flag. If you take too much longer than that, the structure of the pattern changes and the flag kind of morphs into something else. And it ends up being infinitely like a harder trade. You may have a longer wait time and stuff like that. So it's good that this thing started to break out today. I think this is right for tomorrow. Man, give me a week open in the market tomorrow. If the market gaps down like, say, 0.5% or something like that, bam, we're coming in hot on this one. And some of these ones that are like just starting to break out, because we want to kind of get into some fresh moves, right? Same thing with Amazon. You know, I'd probably do calls on this. You can see the calls move really well, right? It's freaking 600%, 500%, 300%. You got to be a part of that, right? So you finally broke out. They absorbed that 200 seller, old Bezos. You know, he had a limit order of, 25 million shares. So, I mean, we've absorbed that in some. It took off right off at the open, pulled back into the bone zone, popped up, pulled back into the bone zone, popped up. And so you get really nice action on this one. I think this one is going to probably end the week pretty strong. It may have an inside day tomorrow just to let the EMAs catch up. But any kind of weakness and tap back near 200, I think it's got to be bought, right? It's got to be bought. You start to pull back and somewhere in 200, as long as 200 holds, this thing is bullish. We got to be a player in this one. Out of all the mega caps, right, this is the one that's breaking out to all-time highs. Obviously, Netflix in this one. And then, NVIDIA's too, but it's been a little bit of a grinder. So I think we can start, someday maybe we'll add old Palantir to the list too. So that's the list, guys. There's a million other names here that look great. I mean, I got 100 of them. But I think these are the ones that are like, not crazy extended. You're on day 1 or day 2 of a move. I want some fresh moves, because if you're buying something on day 5 or, day 10 or something, then, not day 10, right? But day 4, day 5, you're a little bit long in the tooth, and the chance to get rugged is a lot higher. So just something to keep mind of. Go Detroit Lions. I love you guys. Smash that like button. Peace.